Well, there's a happy guy right there. That is Antonio Graham here on this Tuesday edition of the Rick Corey Sports Special. This brought to you by Tulsa Accident Care Center, which I'll tell you more about. And Antonio's smiling because it might have been close, but it's a win, 64-54 over Norman North. I saw the score and thought you were playing arena ball there for a minute.
Absolutely, man. You ain't the only person who thought that, but the good thing is we came out on top with a win, bro, man.
You did. Now, I noticed you guys got off to a really good start. Norman North, and we talked about them last week. Owen Eshelman, who is, I believe, a South Dakota commit, and I
Mhm.
can't understand why he's not being committed somewhere a little, higher up.
Yes, sir.
Nothing wrong with them, but the guy threw
Mhm.
5 touchdowns, threw for 363, ran for 202. He just kept them close, he and Mason James.
Yes, absolutely, man. He's a great ball player. One thing about Norman North, if you know anything about Norman North, they always got a great quarterback. It's like they just freaking breed those guys, man. He's a big old kid too, as well. Very hard to tackle, and he played very well, man. He did everything he could do to keep those guys alive. We had an unbelievable good start, man. We scored on the first drive, and right after that, we kick a high onside. We're able to recover the kickoff as well, and so we jumped out 14-0, and we started things rolling. And so I'll let you take it from there, brother.
Well, no,
But
I'm with you. You were up
yes,
24
sir.
in the third, but
Mhm.
then they started the comeback. Was there a little relaxation, you think?
They hit us with a surprise on side, and the ball kind of fell into their hand, and they kind of got things rolling. We hit a lot of adversity this game, Rick. I'm a man of no excuses, high expectations, and we got a bunch of calls that didn't go our way. Um, it was just one of those games, man. And hats off to our kids because they never got frustrated. There was one particular time on a drive where we literally had to score three times in one drive, and so we just kept saying, "Hey, go do it again, go do it again," and they found a way, man, to win the ball game. And so I think there might have been a little lax at one point in time, but besides that, man, very proud of our kids the way they kind of overcame a whole lot of adversity that game.
But
So.
you said it before, it is human nature to let down a little bit when you have that kind of a lead. But what is not human nature in football, it's very difficult after that happens to put the gas on again. How did you do that? What did they do well there?
Man, they just kept fighting. Our kids kept fighting. Like I said, they never got frustrated. They just kept playing, and that's all I can ever ask those guys to do is just keep playing, and eventually things will start happening. Our offense, they did an unbelievable job last night. They ran 69 plays, and they were able to score almost every drive except two, I believe. And so I kind of put us in a bad situation at one point in time, but besides that, they kind of overcame. We were able to get two turnovers on defense when they counted Cole Campbell. He's a young free safety of mine that he came up pretty big and some big stops for us. And couldn't ask those guys to do anything more than keep fighting. Like I told those guys, man, Norman North is a team that's trying to get in the playoffs, and they're trying to get in that fifth or sixth spot. And so we just got to understand these last three games we playing we getting everybody best shot on top of that and a little bit more. And
Mhm.
so when you watch the film, you almost got to times it by two or three because those guys' effort of play is going to be outstanding.
There's
And
no
so,
question about that. You said
sir.
something there I think is interesting. You said, "Hey, I put us in a bad spot at one time."
Hmm.
Any good head coach will tell you at the end of the game, they won't talk about their players as much unless things are really good. They'll say, I did this wrong. I did this wrong. I did this wrong, or I put
Hmm.
us in a bad situation. Now,
Hmm.
you're a guy who, you wanted to be a head coach for a long time. You've seen other
Sure.
coaches, Coach Fred, Coach Blankenship, make decisions. I'm
Hmm.
sure in that point you might be thinking, what would I do here? Now that you're that guy, is it as
Absolutely.
easy to be bold as you want to be, or do you have to second guess yourself a lot?
No, I think if you're second guessing yourself, you're wrong a little bit. I think it's just a feel and how your kids are playing and where the game is at, because I got all the faith in my kids as well. And I looked at the sticks. I thought at one point in time it was fourth and two or one and a half. And I mismarked it. It was actually fourth and three, a long fourth and three. And we tried to run the football and they made a good play. And so I owned it like a man, and defense came out and they had my back. And so I think that's what it's all about. I told those guys I made a mistake. I told the staff I owned it, and very happy that the defense came out and came up big with an interception that same drive. So that's just what it's all about. You got to have each other backs, offensively and defense, and the coaches. They loved the decision, and they all had my back, and so I just got to continue to learn from experiences and make sure that I'm on it a little bit more better than usual. So
Is that three? Is that two? I'm with you. But
yeah,
you played for guys like Bill and Spav who were
yeah.
bold in decision making, and players like that in a coach, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. It kind of fires them up. And at that point of the game, I was trying to, I was always taught to put my foot on the opponent's throats, and that's exactly what I was trying to do. And sometimes it works out, and sometimes it don't. But it's all about how you respond, and sometimes it's good. Even though at practice, I even try to put our kids in bad situations like that, and so our kids didn't realize it at the time, but that's just stuff that we practice. We go good on good. I make a bad call just on purpose and put our offense behind the chains, and so I think somehow you got to be practice. You got to practice like that, and that's what you have those tough off seasons for, to put these kids in stress situations. So they handle it very well.
And good players can make a bad decision a better one. And I've said before, your stars have to be stars, and they were. Hall, Maul, and Frankenfield offensively again were just
Mhm.
brilliant, weren't they?
Yes, sir. They it's one of those games where they never blinked for a second. And the confidence just kind of going up, and we put those guys on our backs, man. And at halftime, the spirits were still good, and I just said, hey, I need more from you guys, man. And that's exactly what they did. They came out and they executed, and just kind of did what we do. The run game was very, very well, obviously. And Frankenfield, he just continually does a good job of managing, and also we had no turnovers on offense. So that's always a good thing, except the one I had on myself. We had turnover on downs, and so I don't count that on those guys. But besides that, Frankenfield is just continue to do a great job of managing and doing what he's supposed to do, and also being coachable.
And Norman North, as we said, they were very difficult down the stretch. They came back, but you guys made a really big fourth down stop in the fourth quarter. Tell me about it.
Yeah, that fourth down stop, it's to the point where it could be almost a 2-point game or a 3-point game, and I just kind of got them in the huddle, had them relax, and I just said, hey man, who's going to step up and make a play here? And we were able to get some pressure on the quarterback, and Jalen Mall, sorry, he ended up made a good play on their top receiver, and before you know it, that was ball game. And so they answered the call, my man, and I was very excited for him.
I would imagine so. We're going to talk about UConn and playoff placement in a moment. I want to remind you, though, this is sponsored by Tulsa Accident Care Center, open there in Owasso now. They had actually a couple of ribbon cuttings last week, which was really cool. And I want to tell you, I've known Jared for a long time. He's the guy who kind of runs this whole place. Jared not only is a really good dude, but he put together an amazing staff. I want you to hear some of what some people had said. Jackie said, I 100% recommend these people. Accidents are scary enough. We're talking about car accidents and recovery from. You said, but when you have a kind and understanding staff like they have Tulsa Accident Care Center, it makes a difference. Also, this one comes from another one that says 100, 100, 100% love, love, love the staff. So I think it tells you they do a pretty good job. They do everything in one place. By the way, you can get medications there, same day appointments there, individual treatment plans. You can get PT, X-ray, imaging, you name it, in one place. And they're in Tulsa, Owasso, and in Broken Arrow. You can look them up at tulsaaccidentcarecenter.com. That's our car right there. We hope you never have one, but if you do and you need them, just like one of Antonio's players who needs recovery, you want the best, you get it at Tulsa Accident Care Center. All right, this UConn team, that's who you have to close it. Senior night, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's correct. We got 45 seasons this year, Rick.
Tell me about your senior night when you were playing. Did it mean something to you?
There's no doubt, man. It was very, very special because the coaches that we had at that time on that staff, Rick, they were just more than a coach to me. They were more fathers and big brothers, and they were men that I'm still in contact today. And so you want to play for your teammates and your family members, but one thing I wanted to do on that particular night is play for those men and honor those guys, how my performance is going to be that night, and to let them know I appreciate what they did for me. And this is why I'm in the seat right now, because of Spav and Coach B and Bohannon and Davis and Mike Smith and all those guys that was a part of that staff. They played a huge role in my night. And so what else could I do to go out and play a great ball game on senior night for those guys to honor those guys well? So it was very, very special for me.
Now it's your first senior night as the head coach, but you've been around all these kids for a while. How do
Mhm.
you think you're going to feel, or will you give yourself time to even think about it?
Oh yes, man. The biggest thing is like I said earlier, Rick, we got 45 seniors, and for I believe out of that senior class, we lost three, I believe, and so these kids has been a this is the biggest senior class we had since I've been here, out of the 6 years I've been here, and so we usually average around 20 to 18 kids, and these guys just trust the process. They stayed in the program. And I'm very proud of these guys, man, because when I first got here, these guys were third graders. And so it's good to see how far they came. And they stuck out with the program through the good and the bad. And I can't be more proud of those guys, man. They made a pivotal point that you stay in the program and good things will work out for themselves.
They get a chance to be a building block, and the program's been there a long time, but when you see this
Yeah.
kind of a season, it's special. UConn confuses me a little bit. I've seen them. They can be really good. They can be okay. They're better on the road than they are at home in
There's no
district
doubt.
play. When you look at them, what worries you? What do you like? Tell me what you think.
The biggest thing for me is I know they have a really good head coach and a good coaching staff as well. The head coach, Barnes, he coached with me at Union.
Yep.
He was part of a state championship team when we played at Union for, I think we got 2 or 3 rings together. And Coach Tigner, Lance Tigner, he's a legendary offensive line coach who coached me in high school. He's one of those men that impacted my life as well. And so I know that they're going to be well coached for sure. They got a good quarterback. He's healthy now, and he can sling the ball really well. Their tailback kind of reminds me of our tailback, Christopher. He's a hard runner, gets downhill, physical. They played a great ball. They played a really good Edmond Santa Fe team last week, and they kind of caught Edmond Santa Fe in the hills in the overtime game. And so they're going to come. They're coming in with a lot of momentum right now, and this is a game for them where it could be make or break, and we're going to get the whole kitchen sink. And so the biggest thing for us, we just got to go play Owasso football and just do what we do. I hate to say this, but senior night can kind of be emotional for
Mhm.
some of these kids and some of these parents and stuff like that. And so I got to do a really good job of getting those guys back in the locker room and kind of get a fire lit on their tail a little bit. And so we can come out and play Owasso football so we can go into the playoffs with a little bit of momentum and put some really good stuff on film to kind of put a little fear in our opponents.
Yeah, and you control your own destiny, a win and your district champion. But even with a loss, likely you are, your district points are better. But things are,
Absolutely.
nowadays, the way you look at points and things in high school, I don't even, I just ask coaches, hey, what's your scenario? You guys, it's simple enough, win and you're the district champion. But even if you lose, you got a really good chance to still be champion, correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. It's pretty close right now. We just got to go out there and take care of business at the end of the day, Rick. And there's nothing to solidify just yet. And so, if we take care of business, we for sure district champs.
You guys, are you going to talk now about playoffs? Have you talked a lot about playoffs, or has the focus always been just this game?
Yeah, the biggest thing for us, and I'm not just saying this, but we just want to go 1-0 every day, and then on Friday we want to go 1-0, and so I think that's where you get in trouble at, even as a coach, if you continue to look at the brackets and try to figure out who you're going to face, it's going to really take the focus off what's important, and you're going to find yourself being unprepared for games, and you're going to play not very well, and so I just try to take it 1 week at a time, Rick. Definitely myself, me being a first year coach, man, I got so much stuff getting thrown at me left and right. I can't even afford to even look ahead right now. So I can't take it one day at a time. I got to take it hour at a time. And so I just kind of go as it goes. And when something comes about, I'm willing to face the challenge.
Yeah, you need to go bowling, right? Relax a little bit,
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
give
Yes,
you a little
sir.
break. Last
Yeah.
thing I want to ask, and I know, you roll through 7 games, the last two, it's been a struggle, but I
Hmm.
think that's good. Going into the playoffs, I don't know that it hurt. I don't think it hurts confidence, but I do think
Hmm.
it helps a team when they have to overcome some things. What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. I think it does help. And also, It's a great way to. I always think you got to coach with an edge. I think you got to coach like you're getting fired, sometimes. And so, I kind of told my kids that, like, you know, I never stepped off the gas, but I'm about to step on more on the gas because it's time. And there's some thing, and also I think it kind of put your coaches a little bit back on the edge a little bit too as well. And so it's perfect timing for everything for us. So we got some stuff to clean up. We got exposed in a few things, I believe. And so it's not a better time for our kids to think that they don't have anything that they don't have to work on. And so I think it is really good for us. I don't want us to go into the playoffs with a big head.
Right.
I want us to go in confident. But that's because you get better throughout the week, Rick. And so the good thing for us, we know we still got a lot to work on, and we just got to get better every week.
Drive it like you stole it, right?
Absolutely, yes, sir. Yes,
All
sir.
right. Well, you go take care of some of those hour by hour things and
Yes,
knock them
sir.
out in that 10th game. We'll talk to you next week.
Absolutely. Thank you, Rick.